Hey, what's up guys? Lindsay here. I've got Rogue and Gambit #1. I knew I was going to pick this comic up just because they've been pimping it pretty hard in like every single Marvel book. And you know, I like Gambit. I even got into a thing at the comic shop where a guy was like, kind of seems like Gambit's your favorite X-Men, and I had to pump the brakes on that because, I mean, I like him, but I doubt he's nobody's favorite. I feel pretty comfortable in saying he's nobody's favorite. He's up there, probably, just because based on how cool he is, but... And I think they were trying to make this for nostalgia reasons or whatever, but Rogue and Gambit, that's definitely a thing I remember from the 90s. The cartoon, I read some of the old 90s X-Men a couple of months ago, maybe. They're definitely in there, you know what I'm saying? So let's look at the cover. We got Gambit being carefree here, and Rogue just being like, oh, Remy, you always be playing cards. But if you step back and look at it and you see his trail here, he could have just sliced her hand right. Just, that's a good way to start a rekindling of romance right there. Just making a girl an amputee. And then I'm going to skip this first page. It just shows, actually it's like a couple panels are just white. It just shows them with like their faces close to each other. So you don't need to see that. And then we get this splash page of just sort of like moments that happened. I haven't read, you know, X-Men is probably my favorite team, but I haven't actually read a whole lot of it. I've read bits here and there. And I read the Gambit solo series and the Gambit trade of him and Rogue and like the Assassin's Guild, Thieves Guild thing. But I've definitely missed some of these moments, you know, them talking and kissing and him being held by her flying, and apparently she was pregnant at some point. This person getting stabbed. Not super sure what that has to do with anything, but alright. And then we get this panel here, which is actually in this book, of them just talking on an airplane. Again, oh, she's pregnant. Solemn hugging. Kissing. Him being playful and she being like, come on. And then her being playful and him being like, come on. And then, you know, obviously one of the most romantic situations in your life is when you're having a disagreement on a private plane. Death. Hugging. Kissing. Chit-chat. Okay. We start the comic off with, we see some mutants, and you know one of them's a mutant because they have those curly horns. Dead giveaway. And a mysterious figure blasts him with some light and says, looks like you've completed the program. And that's gonna be what the story is about, basically, but you don't need to see it. Okay, now we're in here. We're at the Xavier Institute for Mutant Outreach, which is in Central Park now, which is... I guess that's canon now, but that's so... It's close, it's in the middle of New York. I guess mutants are more accepted now, but just don't have your institute be in the middle of New York. Have it back in, like, what was it, Westchester? Where it's in the middle of nowhere, and you've got time if somebody decides they don't like muties anymore. Not in the middle of New York. So we see Storm and Gambit, and he says, have I stepped back in time? Do I see old school Sentinels in a Danger Room training sequence, Stormy? And then you see this Sentinel being like, yo, what up? Remy, what up, dude? And she tells him that the old school Sentinels were specifically requested by Rogue. And he says, well, why didn't you say so? Deal me in. Oh, I just got deal me in because it's cards, guy. This whole sequence right here is supposed to be working on your pure nostalgia. But because it's like, hey, you remember these types of Sentinels? These types of Sentinels right here, big, blocky, like the cartoon. You know, when you were a kid, you saw the cartoon. It's fun. It's fun. I'm telling you, it's fun. Okay, so he enters in. We've got Pixie, never heard of her, Psylocke, Armor, and Rogue. battling these old school sentinels to work on the nostalgia receptors in your brain. So she freaks out. She says this is a closed session. Tell that to the control room, and Storm says, you said you wanted something unexpected, Rose. Ask and you shall receive. Me and my big dumb mouth. And Gambit, this slick motherfucker here. I won't stand for you insulting that mouth, Rogue. Cheesing pretty hard. How is this, though, unexpected? Yes. Okay. Having an additional team member is an unexpected situation in the danger room. But it's not as if it's an unexpected obstacle. It's not like, hey, we told you there's going to be one sentinel, now there's 2 sentinels, so double the danger. Not, you thought you were only going to have 3 people helping you? How about I bring in a 4th, huh? How about that? You were ready for that. Okay. And they mix it up in the danger room a little bit. It's literally, you know what, it's actually it's only 3 pages of action in the danger room, and some of it's just them talking, but I'm going to skip the next 2 pages because the copyright gods, they be finicky. But they're fighting in the danger room. Rogue eventually is punched down by the sentinel. Remy freaks out. Remy, like, he and I are on a first name basis. Gambit freaks out. He blasts it. Destroys the sentinel, and they end up in this position. Ooh, that's vaguely sexual. She says, I had it under control, sure, but more fun this way now. And then you get all the female members of the team geeking out. Pixie, I guess she's supposed to be young. God, I hope so hot. I feel like, and then she says, should we leave? This feels 5 kinds of inappropriate. Yeah, you shouldn't have even had to ask. You should just leave. If she's really young, I guess seeing 2 adults being close to each other has some sort of appeal. But the adults should know to get the fuck out of there. So they said, these 2 girls freak out because Psylocke knows everything. You picked the training program, didn't you, Petite? So what? Seems to me like maybe you're yearning for the past a bit. Ooh, no! Rejected, Gambit. A simpler time, maybe. Not the past. That takes a lot of willpower, because this Cajun, slick ass fuck. So she runs out. He, of course, catches up to her. He's like, why can't we get dinner? And she says something about how she can't control her powers anymore, which, I don't know anything about, but I'll believe her. She says, well, you're getting time off from all that avenging, so I guess Rogue is an avenger. I wouldn't have guessed that in a million years, but okay. And so he's still trying to get dinner with her. You're still my best friend. I can't have dinner with my best friend. She's like, it's never dinner. And that's how come we're best friends. It's slick. It's a slick line. I'm not going to dispute it. But before she can... No, she says, I don't think it's a bad idea. And then she gets paged into the principal's office from Kitty Pryde. And we're in Kitty Pryde's office. Now this thing, I don't know what's going on here because I'm aware that Kitty Pryde is the leader of the X-Men now. But every iteration of Kitty Pryde, she's always really young. And Rogue is older than her. So is this a situation where Rogue is now younger than Kitty? Or is it just Kitty's young but she's in charge? Because that just goes against humans biologically. Like, we never want to listen to someone who's younger than us. It's just the way it is. Like, someone can be more qualified, and you know they're more qualified, but if they're younger than you by a lot, it just makes it harder for you to listen. Your brain's just like, closes your ear canals a little bit. So Kitty tells her, Kitty, what is this fucking haircut? What the fuck is this, dude? So she tells her that there's a resort for mutants, but it seems fishy to her. So she needs her to go undercover. And while she's talking about it, she's got a picture of Hillary Clinton pulled up and Steph Curry. Okay, it's not Steph Curry. I actually like him. It's a retreat for humans, offering to free them of their trauma. And Kitty suspects something, and Rogue also can see how you could be suspicious of anything to deal with mutants. It's going to be a little suspicious. So, not that any of this is a cakewalk. Well, she's just asking you to go to a place and check it out. I'm pretty sure the X-Men have done way more hardcore shit than just go to a place and check it out. So just calm down. And Kitty tells her that, believe a team that has more authentic history, baggage. We need a romantic couple. And of course Rogue freaks out. She does not want to do it. She says, well, why don't you and Colossus go? And she's like, oh, no. Yeah, this is when the perks of leadership come in. I get to not assign myself the mission. This is what you want. This is the quality of a leader. This is it. You want a leader who is asking you to do something that they are not willing to do themselves. This is the mark of greatness. No, this is the mark of greatness. You go in, you say, give me the leadership haircut, and they, boom. They, like, cut this short, leave this little long, swoop it over. Tell you to start making demands of people you're not willing to do yourself. Also, in a weird way, trying to play matchmaker. She says, you're focused on the wrong thing. These mutants need your help. Using possible mutants in danger as a pawn to get two of your friends together. Okay. Very, very good stuff. And then we see him on an airplane. He's talking about how great it is. And he mentions that he knows that she kissed Deadpool. And she's like, I did not kiss Deadpool. And he's like, don't even try it. X-Men Gossip Grapevine might as well have a phone tree. She says, you think I don't get calls? How many calls do you think I've gotten about you over the years, Remy? I would think that the X-Men would be above that. Be above sort of petty, like, yo, I saw Rogue making out with Deadpool. I just thought I'd let you know. And Gambit is a total player. What kind of person, what kind of a friend is like, hey, Rogue, sorry to call you like this, but I'm in Paris and I saw Remy dancing very closely to a woman who is not you. And then I saw the woman give him her keycard. I'll update you further on what I know. Who does this? This is so childish. This is like high school of, I saw Brad at the movies with not you. What kind of human beings, like, because this is like her love of her life, sort of. But not really, because it never works out for them. But what kind of person is like, hey, just set it up. Update you and I know who Gambit is currently fucking that isn't you? Who makes those calls? So she says, besides, I wasn't finished. I was going to say I didn't kiss Deadpool. I made out with him. Well, that takes a lot of courage. I think that's considered charity. If you make out with Deadpool, that's charity. She says, he's a fantastic kisser. Maybe not having a face makes people, I don't know, try harder. Maybe people as pretty as you have it too easy. I'd stake my life on Gambit's a better kisser than Deadpool. Deadpool will probably use a lot more tongue, initially. But just look at this page. Them on an airplane in the same exact position. Them on an airplane in the same exact position, almost. This panel is used twice of Gambit, and she looks at the side. So it's 3/4 of a page of them just sitting. And she's in the same position here, here. He's in the same position here and here. Great use of space. Great use of space here. Very good. I'm not going to question it all. I just want to point out how great it is. So they eventually get on Paraiso. Did you hear that? Paraiso. So they pull up. They're met by the lady. And immediately she says, Anna and Remy. This is supposed to be undercover. I don't understand this. It's so easy to just make up a fake name. Or is there no one in the office that's like, hey, the X-Men are literally the most high-profile mutants that we have. We're sending them to a place that is for mutants. Do you think they might know about the X-Men? Do you think they might know about an X-Men who apparently is also an Avenger, and apparently who has a very distinct hairstyle? Should we send her? Should we send her? Can we at least make up some fake names? Can we at least have the illusion of trying? But, you know, whatever. Just, you know what, don't lie. Oh, the whole thing they send them is because they suspect there's some telepath stuff going on. So aren't there mutants that are immune to telepathy? Get them! Take them, and then they could just lie through their teeth the whole time. You don't have to have this. You don't have to have this. You do not have to have this. So they said they're going to start the therapy session as soon as they get settled in their room, and Rogue's like, whoa. Room, don't you mean rooms with an S? I'm sorry, but we found with couples a more intensive, immersive experience is best. Is that considered immersive? You're going to, basically, couples therapy the island. Why wouldn't you two share a room? You're a couple. You're ostensibly there to work on your issues. I think it would be weird if you didn't share a room. It might make sense if the relationship is super volatile and for some reason you're trying to save it. Maybe then have 2 rooms. But yeah, it'd just be 1 room. So why are you freaking out that you're at a couples thing and they expect you to share 1 room? You're on Paradise. Chill the fuck out. So they enter in their room. It's all very nice, very Fiji-esque. And then I noticed all these rose petals on the bed, and I was like, hey, resort. Maybe that's a bit of a problem. Maybe that's the issue. And then I got to think about, like, what if there's a couple whose main source of contention is money, and the man, you know what, I'm going to switch it. I'm going to say the woman is constantly buying roses and sprinkling petals from the door to the bed every single day. Because she's a nymphomaniac. She needs that dick. And he's just like, I cannot keep up with her sexually. And she spends thousands of dollars on roses every week. I don't know how much flowers cost. It's a problem for me. I can't get my dick up because we're in debt from all these rose petals. It's like super presumptuous to be like, hey, you're at a couples retreat. Maybe you have problems with intimacy. You know what's going to solve that? Some of these rose petals on this bed. Oh, wait, one of your partners does that every single day and it's an issue for you guys? Shit. Our bad. Just don't do that. Do not do that. So we see some of their neighbors. Her arms look a little skinny, and this dude is jacked. And you know he's been jacked for a long time. Because they don't just hand those tattoos out. You don't get that tattoo when you're skinny. They don't let you get that kind of super dope, tribal tattoo. They're like, no, dude, you have to have, your legs have to have that teardrop. See, I know that bodybuilding lingo. You gotta have that teardrop before you can get this. So, you know, I'm just saying, dude's jacked. So they speak with them a little bit. They're their neighbors. They have dumb little quips about, like, she loves this ocean ladder. It's crazy. And immediately when they swim away, Remy says that the camera should focus, maybe, I think. See that? Solved it immediately. Mind control? Whatever it is, it's not normal. Nobody's that happy. And you know what? I have that same reaction. Someone's too happy or someone is like having fun, I'm like, what are their ulterior motives? What do they have to be happy about? Quit having fun. It's freaking me out. And so after she says nobody is that happy, he says, you that cynical rogue? You suggested it was mind control. You are in this conversation agreeing that it was odd. And then you like snap back at her. What is God? What is this? What is this? What is this? So they're walking to the therapy session. They have a little thing of just all this dialogue about like, hey, maybe maybe this will be good for us. Then we get a little bit of classic Gambit. He's like, look around, this is paradise. How can things not get better in a place like this? Let's just enjoy it. That's the Gambit I know. He's like, look, let's just have a little fun. Look where we are. It definitely could be worse. And then the last panel, I'm not going to show it. It's them strapped to tables. And she was like, you were saying? It's very abrupt. It's like, alright, they're talking, and the next panel, boom, they're strapped to tables. It's very abrupt. I was not into it. I assume in the next issue they're going to talk about how that worked, but it's super abrupt, and it's like supposed to be like a teaser that's going to make you want to read the next issue, and I got to tell you, I don't know. I just kind of want to see. I'm kind of curious of how worse this can get. But then also I'm like, you know what? Would I rather see how worse it gets or have $4? Have $4. This comic, you know why this comic exists? Do you know, okay, the reason why this comic exists, this is not even a lie, is because the movies Couples Retreat has come on cable so many times, on so many networks, all the Viacom networks of like USA, Comedy Central, blah blah blah. I've seen Couples Retreat come on repeatedly. That's exactly what this is. This is why we have this comic. It's because the movie's Couple Retreat has been on repeatedly. And it's this weird, very weird appeal to nostalgia of, if you watch the X-Men cartoon even like a couple times as a kid, you know that these characters go together and they have nice rapport and camaraderie. And it's like, it's fun. Their relationship is fun. It's fun, but it's also odd because they can't touch each other, but then they'll figure it out, you know? And this is not fun. This is like, it could have been good. It could have been good because these, like, it's just so odd because there is so much information. All the writer would have to do is just watch the X-Men cartoon and get a feel for these characters. Maybe Rogue has changed. She's a little bit serious in this. And then I know her from the 90s comic and cartoon where she's fun. She's just as fun as Remy. And she, like, they do throw barbs back and forth, you know, and he's kind of himself in this, like, slick. But this could have been cool of, like, Rogue is in trouble, and all the other X-Men don't believe she's in that great a danger, so Remy has to go get her. And they end up in some sort of fight against a guy, and they're in just horrible circumstances, and that helps their relationship bloom again. That's the kind of stuff that builds relationships, is just like imminent death, terror. You have a little fun fighting bad guys. Or maybe Remy deals with some thieves, Assassin's Guild thing in New Orleans, and he contacts Rogue somehow, and he's like, look, I was into some shady shit. You're the only one who can help me right now. I need you. And she feels compelled to go and save him. Not couples therapy, where you're supposed to be going undercover, and you're not even going undercover. I know that the main demographic for comics, is like the real demographic, is like 40-year-old white guys. This comic, it's a little bit more demographic-wise to me, because I think it's supposed to appeal to kids who saw the cartoon. And I definitely saw the cartoon. But then again, I'm also a girl, so I'm not really the demographic. But I always think that comics should appeal to, not like full-blown teenagers, but like 14-year-olds. Comics should be fun. There should be some action. There shouldn't be couples therapy. Couples therapy is too real of a thing, and it's silly. Like, the only action in this was a little bit of the Danger Room scene, because it was like a wink wink nudge nudge. Hey, we have the old Sentinels. And the Danger Room was heavily featured on the cartoon. You could have done couples therapy in a battle fight environment of their like trapped in rubble and they're trying to find their way out. And so they throw just sharp jabs at each other about their relationship, and they do that while freeing themselves. It could be very symbolic. It could be filled with metaphor. And no, you literally did the laziest fucking thing. And you saw a movie come on TV a bunch, so you said, I'll do that with these characters. I don't get this. This is not fun. And I'm not even a person who's like, oh yes, they should be together. I don't do relationship or real stuff with fake characters. Like, people are like, yeah. My friend thinks old Kitty Pryde is very attractive, and I would give him some shit about it because she's a cartoon, you know? This is an X-Men comic, if we want to be real. X-Men comics should be filled with action. It shouldn't be 3 pages, really like 2 pages of a danger room action, and then on a flight, and then talking. It's like, what the fuck is this, dude? It would have been so easy to just come up with a fake battle and say they're trapped together in some situation. But no, you've seen the movie Couples Retreat too many times. That's the way you want to do it? Okay. Okay, whatever. Whatever, dude. For real.